Hey there my lovelies, and welcome to my booktube channel, The Sassy Library Fox. My name is V, and today I'm going to do something I wanted to do for a really long time. I think I've been tagged for this about a year ago, but unfortunately I didn't manage to get to this tag, and so I'm doing it now because it's Pride Month. And well, it was about time I gave this tag the time and energy and effort it deserves. And the tag I'm talking about is the Stand With Trans Kids tag, created by Leo Bancroft. And Leo is such an amazing person. I love Leo's channel. Leo is always so thoughtful and full of energy. It's really such a pleasure to watch his videos, and especially to find out about other and new or already established LGBTQIA+ companies or organizations that help people from the community. And Leo really does such a thoughtful and amazing job bringing those organizations to our attention. And he created this tag, I think last year, in Pride Month or during Pride Month, and I wanted to do this tag, but I already did my own tag back then. I did the LGBTQ+ red book tag, which I will link down below, just in case you want to do it this year. Feel tagged by me. It's really a tag I put a lot of thoughts and effort into, so maybe you want to check that one out. But enough of my tag, now it's time for Leo's tag. And I have my questions written down here. I actually got tagged by Leo and by Jolene at Bookworm Adventure Girl. So I was tagged for this twice already by the creator and by a friend of mine. And I guess it's finally time to do this and to get to this tag. And I'm sorry if the light is really bad today. It's raining outside. Ha, surprise, surprise. It's been raining for weeks. Honestly, I can't remember a day when the sun was shining. It must have been a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, rain it is, bad light it is. I've got my coffee at the ready because right now there are a lot of changes in my life, and they kind of caused my insomnia to spike again. So I get barely any sleep. I live through coffee. And yeah, I'm really sorry if the energy in this video is a little bit low, but I hope that Leo's questions will be able to get the energy out or to at least get me a little bit more energized while I do this tag. Okay, so here goes nothing. First question it is. Oh, and the first question is already: tag some fabulous friends who also want to do this tag and stand with trans kids. Okay, and the people I'm tagging, I'm just doing this randomly because I have no idea who already did this tag and who didn't. So I will just name a couple of people, and if you are watching this video and want to do this tag as well, please feel free to say that I tagged you. Okay, first person is Jen at Bookish Gems, Alan at Alan Onoda, Ellie at Bibbidi Bobbidi Books, Lisa at Lisa Does Life, Olivia at Olivia's Catastrophe. I hope I pronounced it right now. I'm sorry if I didn't, Olivia. Ren at The Reading Ren, Katja at Obviously Queer, and Ash at Books to Ashes. So those are the people I officially tag. And if you want to do this tag as well, feel free to do it. You can do it and just say I tagged you. The more the merrier, as they say. Okay, and before I go into question 2, I gotta take a sip from my coffee so I have a little bit more energy. Okay, question number 2. Tell us about some books on your to-be-read pile featuring a trans or non-binary character or non-fiction about trans, non-binary stuff. I actually have a couple of books on my to-be read that have trans characters or non-binary characters. For some reason, I can't think of a single non-binary one right now. I don't know why this is, but as for trans representations, I'm currently reading Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas, and Cemetery Boys is about a trans main character who wants to summon the ghost of his dead cousin, but accidentally summons the bad boy of the school, and apparently they kind of fall in love. So I just started to read this book. I have no idea if it will be awesome or not, but I hope it will be. So this is a book that's actually on my currently reading and was on my to-be read for a while. And the second book I want to mention is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. I wrote that down. And this is, or as far as I know, this is an autobiography or a memoir of the person who wrote it. And so many people raved about this, and I'm usually not a person who reads memoirs or autobiographies, but this one sounds really interesting and I definitely want to give it a try, hence it landed on my to-be read. And the last book I'll mention here is Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. This is kind of fun because Andrew Minyard from All for the Game is also an Andrew Joseph. Anyway, yeah, my mind is still full of All for the Game, just in case you didn't know that. So, Hell Followed With Us has been on my radar for quite a while, and apparently it's about a transgender boy who was raised in a cult that wants to bring the end of the world or something like that, and he flees that cult but has an illness in him or a sickness in him that should destroy the entire world, and he's taken in by an LGBTQIA plus shelter and by the leader of that shelter. And apparently there's going to be some sort of found family trope. I have no idea how the plot will be resolved, but it sounds really interesting, and that's the reason why it landed on my to-be read, and I definitely want to read it soon because so many people have raved about this book and I just want to know what all the fuss is about. Okay, that's for my to-be read, and quite honestly there are so many other books on my to-be read, but if I would start to name them all, we would probably sit here until the end of the month. So let's just move on to question number 3. And question number 3 is: recommend a favorite book, show, movie featuring a trans or non-binary character. And quite honestly, I have to think about a movie or a TV show that actually has a non-binary representation or a transgender representation. I can't think of a single one. All the TV shows I watched so far or the movies I've seen always featured an M couple or lesbian couple or a mixture of both or drag queens, but a flat out non-binary character or transgender character, nope. That's actually kind of sad that I can't even think of a single movie or TV show that features characters like this. That's sad. That's truly sad. If you have a recommendation, please drop it down in the comments below because I really would like to broaden my horizon when it comes to this. So thank you in advance if you know a show and drop it down there. But thankfully I read a lot, and in later years a lot of people have done great work with getting transgender or non-binary or even gender fluid representation in books or into books. And my go-to book I would always recommend and literally throw at you and say read it is Felix Ever After by Kacen Callender. And I just loved this book. I loved Felix as a person. I loved the entire story and the questions it raised when I thought about it and when I closed the book. And it's such a thoughtful and thought-provoking book. For me, this is still one of the best books about a transgender main character out there ever. I have yet to come across another book that is as good as Felix Ever After. And yeah, I wish you all the best. Features a non-binary character named Ben, and this book is also so well done and so good. And quite honestly, if you haven't read this one yet, do it. Mason Deaver has an amazing way to put thoughts and feelings into words. If you haven't read that one, do it. Just do it. Okay, question number 4. Everyone has their own journey and no one demographic is a monolith. Recommend a book with a journey, however you define that. A journey. Every fantasy book ever written? I think you can't go wrong with fantasy here, because in fantasy books the main characters always go through a journey and they learn to be themselves and to find themselves. So fantasy books are definitely the first thing that comes to my mind. But I will say the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb, because Fitz is an amazing character. We accompany him through a couple of years when he grows up and becomes a soldier or assassin after being a kitchen boy. So that's already quite a transformation. But also Robin Hobb writes so good and thoughtfully, and honestly this trilogy ripped out my heart and glued it together again, and I felt so much for Fitz. Honestly, the things Fitz is going through, well, they are a journey on their own. So yeah, that definitely fits the journey aspect of the question. And also there's a side character named the Fool, and even though a lot of people perceive the Fool as to be a boy or a man, I personally always got more kind of gender fluid vibes from the Fool. So for me, Robin Hobb actually wrote some sort of gender fluid character when she wrote The Fool. And yeah, I still get those vibes. I only read the first trilogy, so I'm very, very curious if I'll find out more about The Fool in following books of the series. So yeah. Okay, that was my answer to question number 4. Question number 5. None of us know everything about our own identities, especially since we're not a monolith and each have our own journey. What is a book that taught you something either about yourself or the world around you? A book that taught me something about myself. Well, Felix Ever After caused me to think about a lot of things. But another book I just recently read and that caused me to reevaluate or rethink a lot of things was Lovelies by Alice Oseman. There were so many scenes and moments in this book where I just thought this is such a mood, and where I could relate to Georgia or some of the other characters in the book, her friends. And it was really so relatable and such a mood. The entire book, it started really slow for me. That's something typical about Alice Oseman's books. When I first pick them up, I always think they are quite slow and not a lot is happening. But the more I get into the book and the more I experience things through the characters' eyes, the more I get hooked. And by the end of Loveless, I was totally blown away and totally down for this book. And quite honestly, I think I might even rate it 4.5 paws or 5 even. I have to think about it, but this book, there were some quotes I could relate so much, and it honestly made me question a couple of things about myself, but I think that's good. Books always have that aspect of educating you as well, and if a book makes you think or causes you to think about certain things and how you perceive yourself or how others perceive you, that's always a good thing. So yeah, that book might have taught me a couple of things about myself. I just have to figure them out. Okay, let's see to question number 6. And question number 6 is, when things are hard in the world or in our lives, sometimes there are things we can do to help center and refocus ourselves, to bring joy, to keep us going, to keep living, resisting, being our authentically amazing selves. What are things you do to center yourself and find joy or find joy? Well, I write a lot of poetry. Mostly when I'm down and not feeling all too well. I write the best poetry when I'm down. I think every author and every person who ever wrote poetry can relate to that, probably. And other things I do would be I dance. There's nothing better than to dance things off your chest, to do that really hardcore dance workout and to quite literally sweat it out. And yes, I also like to draw when I'm very thoughtful or when something is making me think a lot. I just take out my drawing utensils and just draw ahead or go ahead with it. And yeah, drawing is also something that kind of roots me and causes me to calm down and to reflect on things. So those 3 things are definitely something I do. I used to let it go into music as well, but I didn't have a chance to make any music lately. It's been a while I picked up my guitar or my keyboard or my e-bass at that, so yeah, I probably should get back into music and create music more often. That's actually a good thought. Thank you, Leo, for making me think of that. Might help with the insomnia. 7. What's your walk on music or you feel at home in your body music? Now that's an interesting definition. My walk on music would definitely be I Was Survived by Aretha Franklin. I know that might be a cliche, but this song is so good. And whenever I hear it, I'm totally in the mood to tackle things and to go for it. And as for other music that causes me to feel like myself, well, basically everything BTS ever wrote and got out, all the music they ever produced, because BTS is, I don't know, whenever I think about the music of BTS and about BTS themselves, it's just like a warm hug, and I listen to their music a lot. They give me comfort. In 2020, when COVID hit us, they were the thing that kept me alive. Because I was just at home with my hubby and my kid, and it was so, I don't know, monotonous, and nothing ever happened in those months. We were in lockdown and we were just living from day to day, and BTS helped a lot in that time. Even if it just made me dance with my kid, that already helped a lot. So yeah, they are definitely something, or they create music that makes me feel at home, or my body at home. Okay, question number 8. Finding mentors, people of wisdom, or heroes can be another way to help us navigate life. Who are some of your mentors? Can you share something that taught you or inspired you to learn more about? My mentors. Well, BTS are definitely mentors. They taught me to love myself and to accept myself the way I am. They had a huge impact, and their music had a huge impact on the person I am now. And as for real life people, well, my parents taught me a lot. They raised me well. So they have been people I've looked up to, and the values they taught me as a kid still stand. And I think I wouldn't be the person I am now without my parents and my big sister or older sister. She had a lot of impact on me as well. I've always looked up to her. I'm about almost 2 years younger than her, and she was always a role model. And well, I think honestly, and this might sound weird now, but it is the way it is, the person that taught me the most about myself, and the person that is still a mentor and will continue to be until the end of my life, is my own kid. Because I think I've grown so much ever since I had my kid. The patience I learned, and I'm sure every parent can relate to that, the patience I learned. And I think it's always so fascinating to look at things from a children's perspective, because sometimes my kid is so honest, and the things my kid says, they actually make me think. So it might be weird or it might sound crazy, but I think my kid taught me the most of the things I learned recently, and my kid is still teaching me to see the world differently, and that's always a good thing. And I've learned so much ever since I had my kid, and I've grown as a person so much. So yeah, I think that's my main answer here. My kid is my mentor. As crazy or weird as it may sound, it is the way it is. Okay, question number 9. Who are some out trans non-binary booktubers, Instagrammers, authors, actors, etc. who you'd like to shout out? And I know a lot of Instagrammers that are transgender or non-binary, and I think I know a couple of booktubers as well. Kevi at SayKevi is definitely a person I want to shout out, because Kevi is amazing. You definitely need to check out Kevi's channel if you haven't already, and if you don't know Kevi yet. And well, Leo obviously, but also AJ done recent rights, because AJ is non-binary, so yeah. AJ also has an amazing channel, and if you don't know AJ yet, check out their channel, please do it. It's a really interesting and good channel as well. And as for Instagrammers, I know a lot of transgender or non-binary Instagrammers by now. It's kind of like I found my community on Instagram. There are so many LGBTQIA+ people on there, and a lot of non-binary, gender fluid or transgender people, so that's amazing. But I will shout out 3 Instagrammers that are amazing. The first one is Peach at Prince Peachy. Peachy is, wow, Peachy is so great. Peachy he's really, literally the kindest person I've ever known. And I'm not just saying that, I mean it. Peachy is such a kind and friendly and amazing person, and even though he has so many followers, he still finds time to write you back. I've had an amazing discussion about psychology and children's psychology with Peachy, because you can talk about everything with Peachy. Peachy is amazing and definitely one of the kindest souls ever. And also Elliot at Elliot Ra Reads, he is so awesome too. I love his content. I love to follow his Instagram journey, and it's great. If you don't know Elliot, please check out his Instagram page. I will link it down below. And the last person I have to mention is Drew at the Insomniac Library. And Drew is also a person you can talk about everything with, and I really like Drew. Drew is cool, is pretty cool, and also has a lot of followers, but also finds the time to reply to your messages and to have actually deep discussions. So those three are great and awesome, and I'm going to link them down below so that you can check them out as well. Okay, and now I'm already at the last question. Question number 10. What are some organizations you'd like to shout out for supporting trans kids or trans folks? I honestly don't know a lot of organizations. In Austria, I think there aren't a lot, or if there are even some, I don't know about them, which is pretty sad. I think Austria can learn a lot from other countries and definitely has to do a lot to catch up to the LGBTQIA+ community, because right now they really don't have a lot of organizations or places where LGBTQIA+ kids could go and feel welcome at. I quite honestly, I would do it myself if I could, but I don't have the money or the means to start an organization. But if I had the money and the means, and if I would know a couple of people that would help me with it, I would so go for it. Because I think we're really quite underrepresented in Austria. But there is one thing I can talk about, and it's on Instagram, the Foxhole Fund. And that's quite an interesting fund and organization, because 13 artists who create all for the game art banded together and decided to create the Foxhole Fund. And they made special art and special art bundles you can order, and with that you support trans kids all over the world. The super good thing, or the amazing thing about this, Peachy, I recently talked about, or I talked about before that, is actually the one who kind of drew in all those artists and is the head figure of this fund. And he makes bundles or packages for transgender or non-binary people all over the world to be able to give them free transgender healthcare, and to send them binders or all the things you need, gender affirming wear, and things that will really help trans kids. And the really great thing about this fund is that it's international, and it's not just for all for the game fans, but it's really everyone who is trans and needs gender confirming wear can go there and can apply and will get a package. And on Instagram, a lot of people already put it out there in the world and advertise this fund. But I think on BookTube or on other places, not a lot of people are aware of this fund. And I think it's such a great idea. I mean, first of all, it's international, and not a lot of things are international, but this fund is. And it will help transgender people and non-binary people all over the world. and this is just an amazing thing. I love that those 13 artists came up with this idea and are going through with it, and they are really well-known artists in the All for the Game community, that is. But they also have a huge follower count, and they are generally just amazing. They create amazing art, and now they are doing something really great and good with this art. So I think that's really something worth supporting, and it will help a lot of people. They even said that they will send the gender confirming wear and goodies and things in packages that are unsuspicious and normal packages, so that no one would see where it came from or what is inside. And that's so thoughtful. That's really so thoughtful. And also in the form people have to fill out to get this for free, they even ask about the pronouns, and this is such a thoughtful thing to do, to ask about the pronouns of the person you're sending those things with, so that they can address the person in the letter with the right pronouns. And quite honestly, this is such a great gesture, and I love that this fund was created. As far as I know, it will start on the 1st of June, so I will get up this video pretty early in June so that a lot of people can still check it out and can be a part of it. And if you can support this project and the people behind it, the 13 artists, so that they can go for those bundles and can send them into the world, please do it. It's really for a good cause, especially after all the things I heard about the transgender community in America, how it's attacked there and how it's even happening in the UK already. So please consider to support this cause and this fund. Okay, and well, I think this was the ending of the tag. I don't know how long I already spoke, but it must have been quite a while. And before I continue to babble, or before I say even more, I will just finish it here and say that I hope you liked this tag. I hope you will duly use tag if I tagged you, and if I didn't tag you but you still want to do this tag, please do it. Consider yourself tagged. And I just want to thank Leo for creating this tag and for causing people to be more aware of it and to stand with trans kids. So that's really such a great thing to do. I'm getting this up in June because June is Pride Month. So yeah, perfect time to do this tag. Okay, I guess I'll just wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed this tag. Do it if you want to. And well, I guess there's nothing left to say except of take care, stay healthy and safe, and see you around the next time. Bye!